President Donald Trump is set to testify in his own $250 million civil fraud trial. Let me go ahead and play that for you guys and keep you informed on what's going on.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to take the stand tomorrow at his civil trial in New York. Trump is accused of fraudulently inflating the value of his properties to obtain loans and other benefits. CBS's Naomi Ruckham is outside the state court in Lower Manhattan with what we can expect. Good evening.
Jerika, this high-stakes case could cost the former president control of some of his marquee properties, including the Trump Tower here in Manhattan. Tomorrow's testimony will help the judge determine how much the Trump organization owes after executives were found liable for inflating Trump's net worth and the value of his assets in order to get more favorable financing. Last week, Trump's sons, Eric and Donald Trump Jr., testified, saying they relied on an outside firm and accountants working for the Trump organization. The former president testified in a deposition in April he never felt his financial statements would be taken very seriously and warned people doing business with him to do their homework. Trump's oldest daughter, Ivanka, is set to testify in the case on Wednesday, and the civil trial is expected to last into December. And Jerika, a reminder, in addition to this civil case, Trump has been indicted in 4 criminal cases that will play out as the 2024 election is in full swing.
I've never, ever in my life, I mean, Trump, I call myself Teflon Time. Trump is literally the modern day piñata for our federal government, and it's so obvious, in my opinion, a modern day piñata for the federal government in order to try to vilify him, because I've never seen anybody gone after this hard as a president, ever. I've never seen it happen in my entire life, ever, as a former president. If, in my opinion, if you can't tell that this is a witch hunt, I mean, the guy got like 91 charges filed against him in Georgia. And they going after everything. They're going after his finances. They're going after the women that he done been with in the past. They going after his children, anybody that ever defended him, anybody that was on his team. They all going broke. All of these people are going after him. This is a civil trial, which is separate from the criminal trial. And more importantly, I've read probably less than 24 hours ago that he's leading Biden in every single swing state as of right now, according to the polls. According to the polls, he's leading Biden in every single swing state. So that should tell you something. I believe that this is a witch hunt. I've never seen it. Listen, if all of this stuff was real and if it was a problem, then how come they didn't go for him or go after him before he had became president of the United States of America? I think that the people, it was a blip in the matrix. Honestly. I believe it was a blip in the matrix. The blip in the matrix, and I said this before and I'm going to say it again, is that when he started the run, when he first announced his campaign for president and he started to run against other Republicans before he even became the Republican nominee, and he started running against Hillary Clinton, I don't think that he actually anticipated winning. I believe that he saw this as an opportunity to market himself more effectively. And what he said was honest, and it was a blip in the matrix because it resonated with people. And people actually agreed, because it was the first time, whether you agreed with what his stance was or not, that somebody just said what they authentically believed instead of saying the thing that they thought people wanted to hear. And it resonated. And it actually spiraled out of control because nobody anticipated that it was going to go that way. And so ever since then, I believe that the powers that be, both on the Democratic and the Republican side, I believe that the powers that be is not working in the best interest of the people. And they're working overtime to ensure that this never happens again. And if it wasn't a thing, then how come every single poll, even when it comes to other Republican nominees We can say we like him, we agree with him, Larry Elder, all of these people, but none of them, even though he never even participated in any Republican debates up to this point, none of them are saying that they are picking any other candidate except Trump. There has never been anybody more polarizing in our lifetime that the people are still rocking with, regardless of what the United States of America or these other liberal states and cities are saying that they want. It's crazy. But I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I'll keep you guys informed on what's going on that front. Tesla is set to build and start to expand their factory in Germany, which is recently built. They're set to expand, and they're building off. They're saying that they're going to build a $25,000 Euro car in Germany, right? Which is the equivalent of $26,838 over here in the United States. The car factory near Berlin, a source with knowledge of the matter, said on Monday, in a long-awaited development for the electric vehicle maker, which is aiming for a mass uptick in its cars. And so this is one of the reasons that Tesla is trying to drive out the cost of manufacturing, right? And they're driving out the cost of manufacturing because they're then going to hopefully, in their mind, and this is their strategy, to compete against the United States of American automakers, European automakers, Chinese automakers. They're going to compete against them by beating them at their own game. A lot of people don't even understand how the Japanese automakers and how the Korean automakers, which include Hyundai, Kia, Toyota, Nissan, Honda Motor Company. A lot of people don't understand how they came into prominence in the United States of America because they're not familiar with the auto manufacturing processes and how it was revolutionized throughout the decades. In the boomer years, the Generation X years, a little bit of the millennial years, they're not understanding it. And these automakers were laughed at, and they came in as a low-cost alternative to what was being produced and manufactured here in the United States of America. Eventually, they got their quality together. They had a price point that really couldn't be competed against. Their profitability was up. And so Elon Musk, in a modern technological way, is scaling up in a way that other automakers can't compete and is really driving the manufacturing process haywire, and people don't know what to do because Tesla don't look at itself as auto manufacturer. That's where they make a lot of their money, but they look at themselves as a technological company, right? And so the way that they're making their money is not just from selling vehicles, but it's being innovative in a way that other automakers can't compete. So that's Tesla's goal, is next to try to, after they launch the Cybertruck, and they're also doing the Semi and the Roadster, and they're working on bringing to mass production a $25,000 vehicle that is first going to be manufactured over in Berlin, Germany. And they want to increase vehicle deliveries to 20 million by 2030, setting it apart from competitors like Volkswagen, who have shied away from setting delivery targets and instead focused strategies on protecting profit margins in their transition to EVs, okay? So that is what's going on that front. And then last but not least, over in Cincinnati, there has been a mass shooting over in Cincinnati. Let me play that for you guys.
We got to get this cancer out of our community, out of our city, out of our neighborhoods.
Why can't an 11-year-old be an 11-year-old? Or why can't they, come outside and play?
This impacts us all. Shock and frustration tonight. Community leaders mourning yet another young life lost to gun violence. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Curtis Fuller.
And I'm Lindsay Stone. It has been more than 24 hours since a shooter opened fire in the West End, shooting 6 people and killing a child. That person or persons responsible still on the run tonight. And now we're learning more about the 11-year-old boy who was killed as his community begins to deal with that loss. WLWT News 5's Rachel Hersheimer has been following the story and joins us live with more. Rachel?
Lindsay, emotions are certainly high. This evening, there was a scheduled balloon release for that 11-year-old boy who was shot and killed last night in the West End. When our cameras arrived to that gathering, everyone abruptly started running away and scattering for cover after a potential threat to that gathering. On Wade and Jones Street, a memorial grows.
We're losing our babies out here to the penitentiary, to gun violence.
This stands for the life.
Let me say this, and then we're going to move on, because, again, this is quick hits, and so we're not going to do a deep dive into this. These are just stories that I want to bring to the forefront of what's going on in you guys' life so you understand what's going on around this country and how it comes back to news, our community, our culture, the money, and so on and so forth, right? The victims, the boys shot. The one that died was 11. The other 5 was 12, 13, 15, a 15-year-old girl, and a 53-year-old woman in Cincinnati. Drive-by. They're properly labeling it as a mass shooting. See, and the reason Erica says, why can't we see the video? I don't want to play that video because I believe that it will be insensitive, and I want to make sure that we protect the platform, and I don't want anything to be censored on the platform. Not that it would be inappropriate to show, but the things that were being reported on the news and the videos that they were showing, I don't want to show that because I want to keep the energy high. I want to make sure that we're in a good space, but I do want to bring to the forefront of what's going on throughout our countries because I want you to understand how trash the culture is. 22 rounds, it says the victims were near an intersection Friday night when an occupant of a dark sedan fired 22 rounds in quick succession, Police Chief Terry Thedich told reporters on Sunday. Hit boys aged 11, 12, 13, and 15, a 15-year-old girl and a 53-year-old woman. One victim remained hospitalized and in stable condition. They didn't used to label it as a mass shooting. They used to just say this is violence within the community. They used to just say it was a drive-by. This is normal in our communities. So while we were preparing to go and link up in D.C. and go to the Bag Chaser meetup, shout out to the Patreon members, link is in the description. Over there in Cincinnati, you had a drive-by shooting with over 22 shots, 5 people hit. One was a 53-year-old grown woman and a 15-year-old girl. The rest of them was 11, 12, 13, and 15, and 11-year-old is still in the hospital. I wonder if we're going to have any of our community leaders speak on it. You know, the same way that they showed up for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. And remember when they was asking y'all for donations? And all of the people that say that they're the most prolific community leaders today, the Umar Johnsons, all of these people that supported, advocated for, and stood forth and bought and donated to all of these organizations such as Black Lives Matters, I wonder if they are going to speak on the violence and the culture that we continue to subject ourselves to, and then continue to say that it's something outside of anything that we have control over as far as what's going on within our communities. I wonder. I'm just curious. The man that you see right here on my screen is Isaac Davis. He's the father of the 11-year-old boy that was killed on a West End mass shooting, speaking at a press conference. This is a young boy's father, an 11-year-old boy's father that was standing on the intersection that was shot and killed. And this man right here has to live the rest of his life understanding that the life that was supposed to go after him, his legacy, his seed, the one that he loved the most, the person that he was there for, fed, clothed, took to the hospital, mother gave birth to, his son is never coming home. Is never coming home. This man that you see on my screen right here, this man right here is Isaac Davis. Isaac Davis will never, ever see the light of day as far as the visibility that's given in to these organizations that is capitalizing off of you, but is not really solving the problems that's happening inside of your community. After the day, Isaac Davis will probably be forgotten and nobody is going to remember him or his son's name. Y'all don't even care about Shanquella Robinson. Y'all forgot about her. Y'all probably forgot that her name even existed. Probably forgot that Shanquella Robinson's name even existed. No one remembers. Nobody had an interview with the father except for me. This ain't even what the platform is supposed to be about, but we going to bring visibility to the things that absolutely positively affect us within our culture because the culture is trash and the things that we celebrate the most about it. God bless him. Prayers up for his family. I hope he finds some kind of solace and love and some redemption in his life. And the unfortunate part about this whole thing is that whomever did it is still on the loose. And I guarantee you it's somebody out there that knows who they are and they will not speak up about it because that is the culture that we live in.